song. On most songs, I like the vocal nice and in your face. Fast release helps with that. The only drawback is that things like breaths and S's seem to come through more apparently when you have, and mouth noises and all that kind of stuff. So you can see this crazy automation I have basically turning down the breaths in between phrases. Not 100%. I don't want to get rid of them. You don't want it to sound unnatural breaths or a natural part of the singing. I definitely want them there. I just don't want them by the time I'm done with all the compression and everything. They tend to get really loud. So I like a good amount of compression on the vocals, so the breaths end up coming up a few dB. So I turn them down about 4 dB if I'm doing a song with lots of compression, like a rock song or something like that. I might even turn it down about 7 dB just to kind of get them back to where they sound normal. Next is the Waves de-esser.
What you doing loving this boy? It's only playing games.
Kind of tapping on those S's. Next plugin is a really cool plugin. If you guys don't know this is Golfos. Golfos is an automatic EQ, and it'll do EQ moves 100 times a second. It's insane. It kind of searches for resonances and phase problems and seeks them out. And what's great is you have let's say you have a problem in the mid range of a vocal, and you have kind of a pinchy frequency at 2K. As the singer changes notes, that frequency moves. So when you have a static EQ, that EQ doesn't move. It stays right there at 2K. This will actually move with the vocal and with the note changes, and that EQ will follow. So it basically just has recover, which is essentially kind of a boost, and then tame, which is essentially kind of a cut. Has an overall brighten, and then it has a boost, which I believe is the high and the low together, kind of a smiley face curve. And then it has a bias, which is, it's kind of like a compression seams, but it's very interesting plugin. On this case, I'm just going to use a little bit of the tame, but check this out.
What you doing loving this boy? It's only playing games. What you doing loving this boy? It's only playing games. Here's
kind of moving as the EQ, as the vocal sings different notes. It just kind of cleans up frequencies in a real nice way. Pro Q2 after that, pulling out some tubbiness in the vocal, high pass filter, a little bit of straight up mid range with a wide Q, 500 hertz, and then kind of the nasally frequencies in the higher mids.
What you doing loving this boy? It's only playing games.
So we definitely cleaned up that low end and also a little more of the mid range. After that, the Lindell TL100, really interesting EQ. A little bit difficult to use. Sounds really good. Made by Plugin Alliance. I'm doing pretty strong boost at 10K. Just getting a lot of nice air on top. And then also doing a 2 dB boost. It's basically between 2K all the way up to 13K. So it's kind of whatever that frequency in the middle of those two frequencies would be is the center point, and it's boosting all the way between those. So this EQ works a very, very different way than a lot of other EQs. So check this out.
What you doing loving this boy? It's only playing games. What you doing loving this boy? It's only playing games. What you doing loving this boy?
All right. And then after that, my favorite channel strip. And I'm just pulling down 2 little notch frequencies that I heard.
What you doing loving This boy is only playing games. What you doing loving? This boy is only playing games.
So after that, I have a FabFilter Pro multi-band, and these bands are just set and pulling down. This is the strongest one, and it's pulling down. Where are we at here? We're kind of at 2600 3K area, and then the other frequencies just kind of tap as needed, but it's kind of pulling it all together.
What you doing loving? This boy is only playing games. What you doing loving? This boy.
And lastly, I just have a Massey de-esser on the end. The great thing I love about this de-esser is that it has a mix knob. So I don't have it set very strong to begin with, and then I have the mix a little bit below 50%. It's just kind of grabbing the higher S's. What's interesting is the Waves de-esser, to me, seems to do a great job in the 3 to 5K range. And then the Massey, even when it's set low, it seems to do a great job at like the 10K and 8K S's.
What you doing loving? This boy is only playing games.
Okay. So then this, so far I don't have any effects on this vocal. I am sending a pre-fader to a parallel track where I have a lot more compression going on. Because of that room sound, I didn't want to go crazy. I mean, I have the parallel compressor going on a little bit. Golfos is a dynamic EQ, so that's technically a compressor. And then I have the CLA 76, but they're all kind of subtle. This one's more drastic, but I wanted this parallel control because of the room tone in the vocal. I want to be able to make sure I don't bring too much of that out. But the raw setting, let me take the original out of the mix so you can just hear this.
What you doing loving? This boy is only playing games.
So you can hear how strong that is. It's on average 7 dB most of the time. Kind of similar, definitely similar attack and release settings, but just a stronger input gain. And then on top of that, we have a limiter.
What you doing loving? This boy.
So that's definitely a heavily limited compressed vocal, but we're not using it like that. We're blending that together. So here's the original.
What you doing loving? This boy is only playing games. What you doing loving? This boy is only playing games.
So you can see the relationship of the faders. This one is a lot lower, but you can also watch the meters and you can see how the parallel meter, it doesn't hardly move at all.
What you doing loving? This boy is only playing games.
But you can see how the normal vocal, the meter bounces a lot more dynamically. So we have a super compressed and a lightly compressed, and we get to mix them together in with the track and see just exactly how much compression we want. So let's put that in. I did show you guys that vocal in solo, but I had already gone through it with the music.
What you doing loving? This boy is only playing games. His arms keep it close to his body, but his eyes are looking every other way. What you doing loving? This boy is only playing games.
So I had a little bit of 390, just a small amount, kind of medium width. Let's get a little bit of body back in there.
What you doing loving? This boy.
Maybe a little less air.
What you doing loving? This boy is only playing games.
And then the low end is still kind of strong. I'm going to tighten up just slightly on the high pass filter.
What you doing loving this boy? It's only playing games. His arms keep you close to his body, but his eyes are looking every other way.
Okay. So this is actually the second verse. The first verse, the drums aren't in yet. And it's just those acoustic guitars for quite a while.
Hey boy, what you doing loving?
So we're definitely getting that room tone, but it's not, it's not bad. It sounds all right. In a perfect world, I'd love it to be dry. But, I think it kind of fits this song. Everything's kind of somewhat dry. There's no huge long reverbs on this song just yet.
Hey girl, what you doing loving this boy? It's only playing games. His arms keep you close to his body, but his eyes are looking every other way.
So maybe just a little less of that parallel.
Hey girl, what you doing loving this boy? It's only playing games. His arms keep you close to his body.
So one important aspect of doing a parallel vocal is you want the same automation if you're using pre-fader. And you definitely want to use pre-fader because you don't want your vocal rides to adjust the amount of vocal that's sending to the input of this compressor. That's just like jacking the input or the threshold around like crazy. So you want that to stay constant. So send it pre-fader and then just copy the automation and then group them together. So when you adjust one, it adjusts the other. And then you'll have an independent level of the compressed and less compressed.